You were right about one thing, Kevin. I have been watching.
A repeated request for this channel is The Devil's Advocate, starring Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino. Shout out to my Baltimore friends. That's where I saw it in the cinema back in 1997. For my first video about the film, I'm going to share the two theories I had about its perplexing ending. Back in 1997, before we had the internet to scream at, I wasn't sure what had happened. There is what I call the dial-up theory versus after. Contrary to what you're used to now, people didn't spend time over film theories. We drank with our friends, not sending text messages. If you wanted to watch a movie again, you had to pay for another ticket. Even if you waited for the DVD to come out, the closest thing you could do discussing opinions was CompuServe or the IMDb forums. Essentially, I had my opinions on the ending, and like the rest of us, I moved on. But with social media and the speed of communication, it's become an art form to dissect film. If we've been long fascinated with a Da Vinci painting about a young woman and her weasel, it's not too much of a leap to watch The Wizard of Oz while listening to Pink Floyd. Kevin Lomax learned his boss, John Milton, is his long-absent father. Kevin confronts Milton about what he did with his wife, Mary Ann. When gunfire doesn't work, Kevin realizes that his father is Satan himself. Milton explains that by being lawyers, helping the rich and powerful get away with terrible crimes, the world will descend into chaos and, well, hell. If that's not enough, Milton wants Kevin to make a union with his half-sister and create the next Damien. In a display of defiance and free will, Kevin self-sacrifices, resigning from Milton's biblical plans. In his rage, Milton changes shapes, including one of a fallen angel that looks remarkably like Kevin. Meanwhile, Kevin Lomax wakes up from his daydream, staring at himself in the mirror back at the Florida courthouse. We've returned to the beginning of the story. However, Kevin chooses a different path and causes a ruckus in the courtroom by abandoning his creep of a client. Larry, the reporter, promises to make Kevin famous, and Kevin obliges. Larry changes into Milton and tells the audience how vanity is his favorite sin. My original thoughts before social media outrage was a thing was Milton turned back time and wanted to try a different path, seducing Kevin. As much as I dislike breaking the fourth wall, Milton here acknowledges to the viewer he's mentioned vanity before. It's a wink and nod to it. It's not like we haven't seen him alter reality. When Kevin leaves the hospital, he steps into an empty New York City street. In this case, we see the ending through Milton's point of view, for he is the one most cognizant, the most self-aware. The devil is always scheming. Now, we'll come to the more up-to-date theories of the ending. If one theory is Milton's perspective, the alternative is one through Kevin's point of view. Everything we had seen outside of the courthouse was just a dream. He's played out an entire reality, or a fantasy turned nightmare. He already had second thoughts. Helping Gettys to be not guilty is the first step on a path towards damnation. If you're a believer in this theory, it's not a stretch to expect the devil's son possesses some sort of supernatural powers. Kevin has shown the uncanny ability to read minds. He has a great memory when he recites the Bible to his mother, an ability also shared by his father. There is a scene that explains the secret behind Kevin's success, and it's played as a joke, eavesdropping into the jury's deliberation by means of the adjacent men's room. In metaphor, however, it's more disturbing. Unaware of who he's talking with, Kevin makes light of his advantage. We don't know how far Kevin's vision reflects the personalities in New York. Does Milton's high-powered law firm exist? Is Cullen a real estate mogul? If so, is he destined to go on a murderous rampage? Is Mary Ann unable to have children? We do know that the Gettys case was bothering Kevin when he went into the men's room burdening the guilt. I also feel he read Getty's mind, and knew he was guilty. Dead guilty. His guilt manifested into a premonition of the future. One other thing we know is true between realities regardless is Milton. Milton has kept an eye on Kevin using a disguise known as Larry. It's safe to presume much of Kevin's backstory remains consistent. His successes as a trial attorney, his wife, his mother. But if this was Kevin's vision, why does Milton break the fourth wall and speak to the audience? Milton had to be in on the vision, even if you believe a rewrite of reality did not occur. If Kevin can read the mind of others, why can't the devil? We see Milton do this anyway. Remember, Larry was nearby while Kevin was in his trance. Either the Milton Larry character was reading Kevin's mind, or he was projecting a vision while Kevin was semi-lucid. If Milton's law firm, his staff, and those like Cullen and Moyes don't exist yet, it wouldn't take much for Milton to change that. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Was it all just a dream? This is Mr. Giacingi saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become a dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit. Check out other videos on the channel. Thanks for watching.